It's the ultimate betrayal. Prince William's heartbreak today over 3 sickening new revelations, including a tell-all book on his mother, Princess Diana, by his own uncle.
Right now, in August of 2026, Prince William is facing the kind of royal nightmare that could define the future of the crown. He is not simply dealing with family tension. He is standing in the middle of a 3-way explosion, with Prince George's future hanging over every decision. On one side, Earl Charles Spencer is preparing to reopen the most painful chapter of the Windsor family story. On another, King Charles III appears willing to soften the walls around Prince Andrew. And waiting in California, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are watching every fracture like predators watching a door slowly unlock. The question is no longer whether the royal family is divided. The question is who benefits from the division. And that is where this story becomes truly explosive. Because every time Princess Diana's name is dragged back into the commercial spotlight, Harry and Meghan Markle suddenly have something priceless, a new reason to talk about themselves. Their royal connection is their currency, their family conflict is their product, and Diana's memory remains the most powerful emotional asset attached to their brand. With August of 2027 approaching the 30th anniversary of Diana's death, the timing could not be more convenient. Behind the polished California image, speculation is already swirling about a major documentary project designed to turn that anniversary into a massive media event. And Prince William understands exactly what that means. He has spent decades trying to separate his mother's legacy from royal spectacle. Harry, meanwhile, has repeatedly placed Diana at the center of commercially successful projects, from Spare to the Sussex's television ventures. Now Earl Charles Spencer is about to create something potentially even more dangerous: legitimacy. In September of 2026, Earl Charles Spencer is expected to release Swan Song Diana, My Sister, through Penguin Michael Joseph. Publicly, the memoir can be presented as an affectionate attempt to correct misconceptions and preserve Diana's history. But inside the royal gossip machine, the timing raises a much darker question. Why reopen the story now? The answer, according to the narrative surrounding the book, is brutally simple: money, relevance, and timing. Maintaining Althorp is extraordinarily expensive, and Earl Charles Spencer has also faced the financial consequences of multiple divorces. Diana remains the one name capable of generating enormous worldwide attention. That is why this memoir matters far beyond the pages of a book. It could destroy the last moral barrier protecting Diana's memory from another commercial invasion. The alleged family understanding after 2017 was supposed to mark a turning point. Prince William had chosen restraint. Instead of repeatedly selling stories about his mother, he focused on his charitable work, his family, and causes connected to the values Diana had instilled in him. But now the door appears to be opening again. And once that door opens, Harry and Meghan Markle have an obvious argument waiting for Netflix executives. If Diana's own brother is telling his story publicly, why should they remain silent? That is the loophole. Suddenly, the Sussexes would no longer be the only relatives commercializing Diana's story. The criticism becomes easier to deflect. The outrage becomes harder to sustain. And the 30th anniversary becomes the perfect excuse for another enormous media cycle. But then came the Althorp visit. In July of 2026, Harry and Meghan Markle reportedly made a private journey to the estate with Prince Archie and Princess Lyle. On paper, it sounds deeply emotional. 2 children visiting the grandmother they never knew, carrying flowers toward the place where Princess Diana rests. But then an image emerged showing the children from behind near the Oval Lake, with Diana's resting place visible in the background. That photograph changed everything, because suddenly a private family moment looked like something that could belong inside a documentary, something cinematic, something emotionally devastating, something that could be replayed millions of times. And if that was merely a family photograph, why did it look so perfectly suited to television? That is the question Prince William cannot escape. For him, Althorp represents something sacred. For Harry and Meghan Markle, critics fear it could become something else entirely: the emotional opening scene of a much larger commercial story. The Balmoral development now turns an already explosive family crisis into something far more dangerous. In August of 2026, King Charles III reportedly welcomed Prince Andrew into the atmosphere of the royal summer gathering, creating an image of reconciliation that Prince William could hardly ignore. The justification was painfully simple: family is family. But that sentimental argument carries a much heavier constitutional consequence when it comes from the sovereign. Prince Andrew's reputation had been shattered by his association with Jeffrey Epstein, followed by the stripping of military titles and royal patronages. If even Prince Andrew can be brought brought closer again under the banner of family forgiveness. Then the obvious question immediately follows: what prevents Prince Harry from demanding the same treatment? Prince William understands that this is not merely about one disgraced relative receiving an invitation. It establishes a precedent. Every inch given to Prince Andrew potentially becomes another argument for Prince Harry to reclaim a place inside royal life without first answering for years of public accusations, family revelations, and commercial attacks. And that is exactly where the London media machine appears to enter the story. Following the Balmoral reports, coverage began presenting Prince Harry's return to Britain as something the public should gradually welcome. Instead of demanding accountability, the narrative emphasized charitable work, service, and Harry's continuing connection to Britain. It is the perfect normalization strategy because nothing dramatic has to happen overnight. One appearance becomes two. One charity event becomes another. Slowly, the image of Harry as an estranged prince is replaced with the image of a returning royal figure. But the most uncomfortable question remains hanging in the air. Where is the apology? Where is the reckoning? Where is the acknowledgement of the damage caused to King Charles III, Prince William, and Princess Catherine? Without those answers, a return could look less like reconciliation and more like restoration of privileges. The economic timing makes the entire situation even more suspicious. Harry and Meghan Markle once promised that life outside royal duty would produce an independent media and lifestyle empire. Yet the story presented in the original narrative argues that several ventures have struggled to create the enormous commercial momentum once expected. The documentary project Cookie Queens is portrayed as a disappointment, while the lifestyle brand, as ever, is described as struggling with inventory and weak demand. The larger allegation is that royal controversy remains far more commercially powerful than ordinary entertainment or lifestyle content. That creates a brutal incentive. If Harry and Meghan Markle can reconnect themselves to Diana's 30th anniversary while simultaneously rebuilding Harry's British relevance, they gain two valuable commodities at once: emotional attention and royal legitimacy. Then comes the comparison that makes the Sussex strategy look even more calculated. Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank welcomed their daughter Adelaide Elizabeth Anina Brooksbank, and the announcement was presented as a simple family celebration. There was no giant controversy surrounding the moment, no elaborate narrative about royal victimhood, and no obvious attempt to transform the birth into a commercial campaign. That contrast becomes particularly striking when placed beside the carefully controlled public imagery surrounding Prince Archie and Princess Lyle. For years, privacy has been presented as the reason their faces are frequently hidden. Yet the Althorp photograph allegedly placed those same children at the center of one of the most emotionally powerful royal stories imaginable, Diana's grave. That contradiction is precisely what critics seize upon. If privacy is absolute, why allow an image connected to Diana's resting place to circulate? If the children must be protected from public attention, why should their most vulnerable family moment become potential documentary material? These questions feed the suspicion that the boundary between privacy and publicity is being drawn according to commercial usefulness rather than principle. And through all of it stands Prince William, looking toward 2030 and beyond. His problem is not simply Harry, Andrew, or even Earl Charles Spencer individually. It is the cumulative effect of allowing peripheral royals to trade on the institution while weakening the discipline that protects it. Other European monarchies have already reduced their royal houses, limiting titles and responsibilities to prevent the crown from becoming an oversized celebrity network. Prince William appears to understand the same lesson. The monarchy cannot survive if every family dispute becomes commercial content. That leaves him with an agonizing choice. King Charles III may want peace. Prince Harry may want a path back. Meghan Markle may see Diana's anniversary as an extraordinary commercial opportunity. Earl Charles Spencer may reopen the story through his memoir. But Prince William is looking at something much larger the throne his son Prince George will eventually inherit. If he allows every old wound to become a new business opportunity, the institution itself could pay the price. And that is why the coming months may matter more than anyone realizes. Diana's 30th anniversary is approaching, the memoir is approaching, the pressure for Harry's normalization is growing, and the royal family remains caught between forgiveness and protection. The question is no longer whether the past will return. It is who will control the story when it does. Because once Diana's memory becomes the battlefield again, every photograph, every interview, every royal invitation, and every carefully timed appearance could become another move on the board. And Prince William knows that the next move may determine far more than the fate of one family. It may determine what kind of monarchy Prince George inherits.